Oh boy, okay. We're back. We're back. We're back. Hopefully, there it goes. Alright, now it's catching up. Yay!
Hooray!
Hooray. God damn, that's fucking annoying.
Is the camera still borked, though?
I am about to check. Let me see.
Okay.
Nope, the camera's not borked.
Excellent.
So
Knock it off, Danny.
we have made progress.
Roland's has other things to do. He's gonna wait for his daddy. Shut your door.
Progress
Go
is
lay down.
important.
Alright, can you get Rose? And as well as Naja. We will need Rose and Naja. We are going to be trying something today. It is referred to as... What is it? Galaxy Grenade. Thank you, Enzo. I appreciate it. We're going to be trying something called Galaxy Grenade. It is a energy drink. Yep, the child is going to try it first. Alright, so...
Get down.
I'm not a big fan of the smell.
Yeah.
She says she likes it, so she's going to take a sip of that.
Tastes like candy.
Tastes like candy?
Yeah.
Go.
Panda!
Alright, you're next.
Smells like a Jolly Rancher again.
Yeah, it does.
No, you don't need
it
that
smells
much
very
caffeine.
sugary.
Go. No.
I will say that.
Look at the face. I'm
What?
saying no.
No for what? No for what? What does she want?
She wants more.
No! She doesn't need that much energy. Jesus Christ.
So much sugar before bedtime.
This also has caffeine.
Oh boy.
That one doesn't have the aftertaste so much.
Okay.
Go to bed.
Go to bed, child.
Do I have to be on camera? Can you see me?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah.
So that's Lady Naja. Let's see what she thinks.
That one doesn't have the same aftertaste the one that yesterday did.
Is that better or worse than yesterday?
Better.
Alright, it is better. Okay.
Better. And I liked yesterday's, so
I just
What about the aftertaste? Did you check?
no aftertaste.
So she says no aftertaste. Anne says no aftertaste.
It's
Hey,
not-
Squidgy.
There's a little bit, but it might just be a texture thing from
All right.
the dioxide.
It
in
definitely smells very sugary to me.
It smells almost like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
Like a cherry Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. It's very cherry Jolly
Mm-hmm.
Rancher-ish.
Yesterday
All right.
reminded me of watermelon more than green apple.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just...
They are
part of-
all pretty sugary. That's true. Now, here's the problem. I cannot drink too much of this. Why can I not drink too much of this? Why? Because it has caffeine. It has a
Yes.
large amount of caffeine in it, in fact. But it's not over, like, crazy amounts of caffeine. It has...
I think that one was 100.
100? Yeah, I think that...
Because they go from, like, the ones we have were, like...
This one's 100 as well.
We had one that was... I think the one yesterday was 150. Because
Yeah.
this one is 150.
Okay, so 2 had 150 and 1 had 100. 2 had 100. This is a 100 one. I would drink this if it wasn't loaded to the gills with caffeine. All right?
Yeah.
I can't do it. It'll give me migraines. Squidgy says he's planning on getting some soon. There you go.
It's not
All right,
bad.
off with the camera.
Because small people.
With the camera.
Squidgy says you're planning on getting some soon. If you do get some, use my name, Ruby Mad Hatter, as the code, and you get 10% off. Mountain Dews are just as bad. I can agree with that. Okay, but this is also coming from the same kind of guy that my sweet teas that I really enjoy barely have sugar. Like,
Yep.
I cannot stand unsweet tea, but the one thing that really does aggravate me is when you put too much sugar in sweet tea. Absolutely no
Yeah.
reason for that much damn caffeine. Yeah, it's 100 milligrams of coffee fruit extract.
That's not what the caffeine is, though.
Which one? Oh, caffeine and
hydros.
hydros. Oh, this one has 150. Okay.
The other one has 100.
And this one has, no, it has 150. 150. They all have 150 caffeine. That was meant for Mountain Dews. No, trust me, Mountain Dew's also pretty bad about it.
I can't.
The worst one, though, the worst drink I've ever had, and Gamera, I believe you remember this drink back in the day, Jolt.
I never
I've heard horror stories
actually
about that stuff.
drank Jolt, but I was aware of it, yes.
Oh my god, I used to drink quite a bit of it, and Jesus Christ.
This is before you knew you had a caffeine issue.
Yeah, this is before I had the caffeine
No, I
issue.
liked Surge.
Oh,
yes, the
Surge.
Tiki drinks
Yes,
Yeah.
Surge was up there too. Yeah, that's true. Holy shit. Anne will be joining us later when she gets more settled and things of that nature. Just a heads up.
Maybe.
By the way, Gamera, we are
Yes.
4 subs
Oh, right.
away from Anne's cooking lesson.
Yeah. By the way, your stuff is decaf.
All right.
And make sure your iced tea is decaf because I don't want
Yeah.
you dead.
Yeah, the sweet tea I'm drinking is decaf. We grab decaffeinated tea bags, we brew them, and then we chill out the tea.
For you.
Yeah. Can still get it on. Really? That's cool.
I
Danny,
think
go
someone
to
picked up
bed.
like the license and trademark for Jolt, so it's still being
Goddamn
made
boy.
by folks.
I guess that's true. There is the most caffeinated beverage on Earth, though. I have experienced.
What is that?
It's called Death Wish Coffee. All right, give me a second. Let me get my Google Chrome back up and running because that died as well when I had to restart the computer.
Of course.
You know, because wonderful day of tech.
So, those drinks have 150 milligrams of
Yes.
caffeine?
But that's for the whole cup.
Right, right.
All right,
Yes, you can.
caffeine content. All right, so Death Wish caffeine content contains 60.67 milligrams of caffeine per fluid ounce.
Per ounce!
Per
Oh,
ounce!
Wow.
Oh, god damn it, another ad break. Because we had tech issues, the ad break...
That's okay. You know, we've got to take the ad breaks, pay the bills.
Did you hand that entire thing to Nadja?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go try something.
what are you gonna do?
Because this is making my head not hurt.
You're gonna drink it?
I'm gonna see if maybe it's because I didn't have enough caffeine yesterday.
Oh! Anne thinks she didn't have enough caffeine yesterday, and that's why she had a major headache. So, a fun thing about what happened yesterday, we were trying to play Stardew Valley. And the mods got updated.
Yes.
But the mods got updated poorly,
Yes.
which means all of our specialty crops got erased. I was able to save the tractor, and I was able to save the cheat menu and the NPC location thing, like the important stuff. The extra crops were nice, but... Right. Now...
At least you got the important stuff.
Yeah, at least I got the important stuff. Now, recently, how do I put this? You saw the title today. It's called "Getting Off the Bandwagon."
Yes.
There's a reason why I use that title. All right.
Okay.
Let me see if I can't find the issue here. All right, because there's a whole thread to this. All right.
Huh?
Something that happened recently on Twitter.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, don't you mean X?
X now. Yeah, it's X. All right, so in a minute, I will go over this whole story so that everybody could be hearing it. Because we got one more minute of ads. The fact, and by the way, fun fact, I'm not sure if you knew this. Did you know Microsoft has the trademark license for X?
I do, and it's actually
Oh,
even
that
more
Danny.
complicated than that because you can have the same trademark with different companies for different things, like Dove chocolate and Dove soap. But Microsoft owns the X trademark for like e-commerce and things.
Yep.
But
Get
the
your
kicker
fucking
is
dead.
for social media. Do you know
I
who
don't
owns the X
care.
trademark?
Go.
No.
Meta.
Yes. I'm like that dude in the Godzilla movie, just sitting back and going, "Let them fight." Yeah, let's go, because apparently Elon is kind of chickening out of the whole like MMA fight they were supposed to have with Zuckerberg.
Yeah, his mom didn't want him to do it.
Yeah, so it's like, this is fucking hilarious. All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm glad
Yes.
that the ads are done. So
For the bullshit.
the starting topic for today is called Getting Off the Bandwagon. This is about a thread in particular that I interacted with. And, man, did it get bad. Okay?
Yeah.
People have opinions?
So, this guy named Sean Drake, comma, Indie Warhorse. Alright? He's made a game called Court of Blades and Assorted Wonders. Alright? So, 2 separate games. Court of Blades and Assorted Wonders.
Okay.
Apparently my subscription expired and I had to watch ads. Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, Papa Hollow. So, this was his comment. He goes, every time I have a problem with dungeon fantasy games, someone recommends Pathfinder / Pathfinder 2E. The only thing more at odds with my gaming tastes than Pathfinder is having someone explain Pathfinder to me. Complete with a picture that shows Bugs Bunny on it, like in his little suit. He goes, I wish to all Pathfinder players a very don't talk to me about it. Alright, Papa Hollow, I appreciate the work. So, like, he's basically complaining that people, when he complains about a fantasy RPG, like a dungeon fantasy RPG, people recommend Pathfinder or Pathfinder 2E. So, when I looked into his message history on his own page, the game he's complaining about is 5th edition D&D.
Yeah.
So, my thing is this. If you are bitching about 5th edition D&D, and someone comes out and says, hey, have you tried Pathfinder? Because Pathfinder 2E is the closest RPG we got at this time to 5E.
Yep.
Alright? And someone comes out and suggests it, and you say, I don't like Pathfinder, most Pathfinder players will just chill out.
Yeah.
Most people will just be A-okay with it. There are a few that will try to pester you about it, but that's true with every game. But the fact of the matter is, if you are getting upset because someone recommends the next closest game to the game you're bitching about, and it actually addresses a lot of the things you're complaining about, stop bitching.
Yeah, I actually saw that on Twitter, aka X, where you were interacting with that guy. By some miracle, my feed actually showed me something it was supposed to.
Holy shit.
But you're right. Basically, if you say, I hate 5th edition, I wish I had a different
You're fine.
game.
Go to bed.
9 times out of 10, anybody trying to be helpful is going to go, hey, what about
Danny,
Pathfinder?
Go to bed.
Yeah.
And you can't be pissed at them for suggesting the second most popular fantasy RPG. You can be tired of it, but you can't be pissed at them. You're not justified in being pissed at them. Like, okay, I just start rephrasing your statement. Like, I don't like 5th edition, and I don't like Pathfinder. I wish there was something else. And that solves your problem without you having to be kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that. Like, I'll give you an example of one of my players. I have a player in one of my games, hates sci-fi.
Sure.
Absolutely despises it. And I ask him why. It's like, what about sci-fi upsets you? Why do you not like it? His statement was, I really hate the idea that your character gets shot in the head with some sort of ray gun, and whatever voodoo they do, you're suddenly better. Even though this gun is known for, like, disintegrating people and shit. And I'm like, I get what he's getting at. Because, like, especially with sci-fi RPGs, the description of the gun is like, this blows holes in concrete. This blows off limbs at the shoulder and shit. But yet, someone gets, like, one of your characters gets shot with it, like, 8 times, and you're A-okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very specific kind of thing for sci-fi, though, because honestly, a lot of sci-fi games, you get shot in the head with that gun, you're just dead. They don't have that kind of healing where you get back up from that.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, for me, it's just like... But it's a specific gripe he has, and he described it in a very precise way.
Sure.
Which is okay. That is where I have no issues. Now, My statement that I've made, and the reason why I'm talking about this, is it's starting to apparently get traction in other communities. I actually saw my own post put up on Reddit.
Okay.
Which is wild because I didn't do it. So I was like, okay. And my statement was, okay, this whole snub Pathfinder, because when I complain about a system, people offer it as the first suggestion, is getting old. Look, guys, if you don't like 5e but want the most similar design, Pathfinder 2e is 2nd edition is basically it. I played a ton of systems that include Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition. My favorite of the systems I enjoy currently is Pathfinder 1st edition. I really have yet to try 2nd edition a lot. I haven't given much of a shake. I have played 5th edition, and I can see its flaws, but it's not a terrible system. I would honestly suggest 5th edition to any new player to TTRPGs that wants essentially the D20 experience.
Yeah.
I feel like that was very precise. It was very, it wasn't me being an asshole.
No.
All right? So when I looked into this guy, and I'm like, why is he yelling about this? What is going on? It turns out he's not happy because people aren't giving his indie game enough attention.
Ah.
That's where it was.
Yep. That makes sense.
Because, it's like, I want to write games for living in this world, please. It's literally all other games. We're not playing the most popular game. At least people have heard of Pathfinder. I hate that it is this way, but if I have to accept that my shit isn't for everyone. It goes, someone replied to him and goes, it's not for not liking Pathfinder. It's perpetuating this dumb narrative where people act like the mere act of talking about Pathfinder is some sort of hate crime. No other game gets this bullshit all the time.
Huh.
And I'll be kind of honest, from my experience, that's accurate. Like, if I bring up White Wolf, people don't act like bringing up White Wolf is a hate crime. If I bring up, Star Wars D20, they don't bring it up like it's a hate crime. Same thing with 5th Ed. They don't bring it up like it's a fucking hate crime. The only game I've experienced that with is Pathfinder. Usually from 5e players.
Maybe D&D 4th edition.
Okay, yeah.
We don't talk about the stepchild.
We don't talk about the ugly stepchild. All right. Let me fix where reactive is, because I need to make it bigger. All right. How's that? Yeah, there we go. All right. Now everybody can see everybody. And we got the dino on the screen now. Yay. All right. So I'll be playing this while we're having our discussion. But
Giving us some wonderful backdrops.
oh yeah, I've also turned on the what's the word I'm looking for? The setting that keeps copyrighted music from playing.
Good.
The fact that this game has that feature is kind of cool.
Honestly, I would be surprised to see a title released without that feature in this day and age of streaming.
No, a lot don't.
Well, I mean, I say surprised, that's perhaps the wrong word. I would be extremely disappointed if they didn't think to include that feature in a modern game.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them just don't.
Yeah, streaming is a big thing. I was actually just looking at the nominations for the Streamy Awards and
Yeah.
thinking about how it's so interesting that we've evolved this, specific streaming culture that actually has its own awards now.
All right, let's see what we got, and we can actually, make our suggestions. All right.
Oh, you talking about the Streamy nominees?
The streaming nominees. Let's talk about that real quick. That sounds like a
Alright.
fun topic.
Yeah, and it's related to what we're doing. Let me just
yeah.
get the list.
Yeah, I'm showing also the list on stream. All right. All right. So creator of the year, we got Eric, Alex Airy, Charlie DeMario, Jay Shelley, Gidon, Logan Paul, Makai Nogueira, Mr. Beast, Ryan Tara, and Zach King. If I'm gonna put a vote down, I'd say Mr. Beast.
I mean, Mr. Beast is huge on the numbers, and of the 10 people on this list, I think I've heard of about half. And yeah, Mr. Beast is not someone I personally watch, but you can't deny that he's got just a huge brand.
Well, not just that, but also I've seen him do a lot of charity work.
And yes, and actually there's a category later on about charitable things, I believe, and I believe he's on that as well.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Logan Paul definitely not.
no, Logan Paul can get fucked.
Yeah, no. How about you, Naja and Anne? Have you heard of any of these guys?
Mr. Beast is one that I've seen because the kids have watched him. Some of his stuff is crazy, some of it's amusing. Logan Paul can go jump off a bridge and with a quick sudden stop at the end. And I haven't really seen any of the others too much.
Yeah, I really don't know most of these people. I would have to look into them.
I mean, I've heard of Charlie D'Amelio, mostly from commentary YouTubers reacting to her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of Ryan Trahan. I think I've heard of Zach King.
I don't know her. I don't know Charlie D'Amelio. You said
Yeah.
Zach King. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see if I know him. I've seen this guy. I have seen this guy. Some of his stuff is pretty interesting, but I feel like his voice is just a little grating for me.
Yeah, and then Ryan Trahan, I think I have also...
All right, let's see what Ryan Trahan looks like. See if I know Ryan Trahan. Please load.
This is a penny. That.
Okay. So that's interesting. He does some weird stuff, but I don't know him
yeah.
at all. Alex Ari, I don't know her.
Nope, no clue.
She looks like one of those beauty influencers, is my guess, based on what I'm seeing of her content.
Could be.
Yeah, Airrack. What's Airrack? Okay. So he's a prankster, and he works with Mr. Beast a lot.
Okay, so he's in the Mr. Beast family.
Yeah, family, yeah. I would say Mr. Beast. And then we
Yeah.
got Show of the Year. I know none of these.
All right, so let's see. I know Good Mythical Morning.
Okay.
A couple of really nice guys who do like food-based content.
Okay.
And
That makes sense.
yeah, just really decent guys. I don't watch their channel regularly, but I have enjoyed what I've seen. Hot Ones is, I believe, that challenge show where people are essentially doing an interview and eating hotter and hotter wings.
Yep.
And those are the two I know out of that category.
Yeah, this looks interesting. I've seen clips from Hot Ones.
Yes.
So that might be the one I'd go for that. How about you two, ladies? You recognize any of these?
No, I don't watch a whole bunch because I'm typically too busy.
Fair enough. All right, Streamer of the Year. I know Hassan.
All right.
I know Ludwig. I know Valkyrie. I know XQC. I know Iron Mouse.
I was going to say, you got to know Iron Mouse.
I know Iron Mouse. Okay, I know Iron Mouse. I've never met the person, but I know them. I know of them. Valkyrie I know mostly from her Among Us stuff. XQC I've known from basically news.
Okay.
Where he's been kind of very obnoxious all the time. Mm-hmm. Every clip I've seen of him, he sounds super obnoxious. Ludwig sounds the same way to me. I don't know him that well.
Sure.
If I was going to go for Streamer of the Year, I'd probably do either Iron Mouse or Hassan.
I will say that Iron Mouse I enjoy quite a bit, at least the clips. So yeah, I would go with Iron Mouse. She's actually streaming right now, but
Hey, hon, you know Hassan. He used to be on the Young Turks.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Yep. He was one of the younger guys on the Young Turks. I don't know anybody from the International.
Yeah, I was going to say not familiar with the International.
I'm not familiar with the short form.
I mean, yeah, the short form folks do not ring a bell.
Breakout creators. The only one I know is Dylan Mulvaney. That name sounds familiar.
I believe Dylan Mulvaney was the trans influencer that got caught up in the
Bud Light
thing.
I would say that's a break. I would give them my vote for breakout creator then.
Absolutely, because they have had to put up with some real bullshit this year, and I think they deserve recognition for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Breakout streamer, I'm gonna say Shy Lily.
Shy Lily is amazing. I've watched clips of Shy Lily's channel, and it just never fails to make me chuckle.
Oh yeah, she is hilarious as all get out. She is a VTuber, Naja and Ann. That is her avatar is a whale.
She is not just a whale; she is a whale cat.
A whale cat. Sorry.
Specifically, an orcat, like an orca cat.
Yeah, an orca cat. And isn't there like one big phrase, whoop whoop, or something like that?
Womp womp.
Womp womp. That's it.
Yeah, womp womp.
Yep. She's adorable.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know anybody on this list.
I'm trying to think. Some of the other names I think I might have heard at one point, but Shy Lily is the one I'm actually familiar with.
The collaboration, I don't really know too many people on this one. I didn't see that one, so I can't vote for it.
Yeah, I mean, these are specific videos, and yeah, Mr. Beast and The Rock sounds like amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be hilarious. I think Naja is busy with her kids or something.
That's fine.
Yeah, she's quiet. For creator for social good, Beast, I've seen a bunch. Jack Skepti, I've also seen a bunch with his stuff. I saw him when he did Subnautica.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been kind of watching him off and on there. He is definitely an entertaining personality.
Right on.
I don't know the rest, though. So there is that. Creator product. I know none of these.
Well, I know one of these.
Okay.
Feastables. Mr. Beast's Feastables. It's his line of, like, cookies and snack things.
Oh, okay. That's...
I've seen some things about Crunch Labs. It's something the kids have watched, and it seems cute.
Okay. Crossover. I don't know any of these. I know the character, the actors and actresses, but I don't know what this is involving.
I assume this category is for people who are more famous for not being streamers, who have done a streaming thing, like Paris Hilton, doing a streaming thing, etc.
I don't know any of the first persons.
I mean, we looked at Ryan Trahan earlier, but yeah.
Just chatting, we got Hassan, we got XQC, we have Quackity. I think Quackity sounds familiar. How do I know Quackity? Where's Quackity?
Quackity was on one of the earlier lists as well, but let's see.
Quackity. Oh, okay. He's just a dude. I've seen some of his videos, but not a lot of them. So out of these, I would probably say Hassan.
Okay.
Variety Streeter. Okay, Imaru sounds familiar. I feel like I know that one. What is Imaru? Oh, she's streaming right now. Holy shit. I just want to keep this muted so that way I know who it is first. Why do I know your name? Why do I know you? I feel like I know you somehow.
Yeah.
Her face looks familiar. I can't put my finger on it.
Well, we don't want to sit through a whole ad break. So.
Yeah. But I could also see her here in the corner.
Yeah.
So that's her down here in the corner. I don't know. She seems familiar to me. Like, something tells me I know this.
Could be.
VTuber, I'm gonna have to go with Iron Mouse.
I mean, Iron Mouse or Gura. I'm a fan of both.
I don't know Gura.
Gargura is one of the HoloLive.
Rolling Stone Sound of the Year. I don't know any of those.
Yep.
So there's that podcast, Call Her Daddy H3 podcast, Impulsive. No, I don't know these. I know the H3 podcast, but nothing more than that. I know the Game Theorists. And he just did the da-na-na-na.
I'm just playing around.
I've heard of Darman, but what I've heard I don't like because he's underpaying the actors in his stuff. So
I've seen the game theorists. They do some good work. Unscripted series, don't know any of these ones.
except Hot Ones we discussed earlier.
Animated.
I see a lot of people talking about Hell of a Boss.
Hell of a Boss is great, especially when you look at its offshoot as well, which is Has Been Hotel.
Okay.
They're hilarious. I haven't watched enough Hell of a Boss to actually get a real opinion on it, but I have watched the first episode of Has Been Hotel, and if it's anything like Hell of a Boss, if the two are similar because they are done by the same people, I would really love watching it.
Right.
And I've heard clips from Hell of a Boss, so there is that.
I also like the song that Has Been Hotel does for the hotel.
Yeah, that was insane.
Insane.
Yeah, insane for same world, I believe. That makes sense with the art style and everything. There's a character in Has Been Hotel named Alistair. And he's known as the Radio Demon.
Okay.
So because of that,
It's fun.
he's a fun character. I'll turn off display capture so I can keep working on the game so that people understand I'm also playing the game. Yeah. Let's see. Don't know any of the beauty people.
Yeah, I'm not really into that sort of thing.
Don't know the comedy. I do know commentary. I know Penguin Zero.
Okay, so the commentary one, I watch 4 of these 5 people actively. It is the one where I actually have the most knowledge.
Okay.
And I love all 4 of them. I don't know D'Angelo Wallace, but if he's in this company, I am sure he is just fantastic. Danny Gonzalez is one of my favorites. Chad is excellent. Curtis Connor is excellent. And, of course, Moist Critical, a.k.a. Penguin Zero.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've had great interactions with, like, Moist Critical. It's just... Because, like, I've commented on some of his videos, and he responds.
Nice.
Like, he actually gives a damn, which is really cool. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So that's always made me happy, that the fact that he actually takes time to interact with his viewers. Competitive gamer. I've heard of Tarek.
Yeah, this is a category where I cannot help anything.
The same with dance, and the same with fashion and style. I don't know any of those. Or food. I don't know food.
Nope, none of... Yeah, we can breeze right past those, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Gamer I know. I know AppMal for my kids.
Okay.
I know Dream, I know Markiplier, and I know Tony Innit. Or Tommy Innit. Tommy Innit always came across to me as a spoiled child.
Okay.
He does a lot of Minecraft and stuff, and he just causes drama in Minecraft.
Okay.
Like, he is constantly just doing some of the most obnoxious shit.
Aphmau is fucking annoying.
Atmau is annoying, but she's geared towards children, not towards us.
Yeah.
That doesn't change my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of Dream, and I know Markiplier.
Dream's videos are really good. He did cheat on the speed running of Minecraft, and that got him into some shit.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Markiplier's not bad. I just can't stand his voice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Interesting.
I love Markiplier's interactions with his editor, because his editor is constantly messing with him.
Right on.
It's great. Health and wellness. I know Healthy Gamer GG.
Okay.
I've actually been on his live stream. I've actually asked questions.
Okay.
And the dude is really knowledgeable about his stuff because he's a psychologist.
Okay.
And his whole idea is to help people with gaming psychology issues, whether to help them with their mental issues with gaming, or he's one of the few psychologists that fully admit that gaming addiction is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a licensed psychologist.
Okay.
So that's why I really like his stuff. I really respect him because he does do that.
Right on.
Where is it? I think it's attractions. Yeah, where is it? Oh, avian. Okay, I want you there.
I'll go ahead and say in the kids and family category, I don't know any of those names.
Let me see what we got here. No, I don't know a single one of those either. God damn. I figured I might know one because of my kids.
Right.
But no, I know fucking Bupkis.
Now, learning and education is another one where I actually have at least experience with two of them, and I'm familiar with a third. So, I really like Tier Zoo. It's just a great concept for a channel. Have you ever watched Tier Zoo?
No, I've never heard of it.
So the concept behind Tier Zoo is they take a real world animal and analyze it as if it were a playable character in a game. So they talk about like the ridiculous advantages that this feature gives it, how overpowered and broken it is, or how underpowered it is because of this, drawback. And so you're learning stuff about animals at the same time as, being treated to this comedic presentation. So really like that. And Tom Scott is just incredible. He will do deep dives on just really interesting, specific things that it's really enjoyable to watch.
Interesting.
He's actually, I think, getting ready to take a break from his channel sometime in the next 6 months or so, because he basically promised himself he was going to do one video a week for a certain amount of time. He's about to hit that, and then he's going to take an extended break.
I honestly don't blame him.
No. And I think I've been recommended some videos from Veritasium, but I have not actually yet watched them.
Okay.
Not familiar with the lifestyle folks.
Yeah, I don't know them. That's a different one for me.
I do recognize some of the names under the news category, though I can't say any of them are ones that I watch regularly.
News. I know the Philip DeFranco show. Hassan Bibi, Brian Taylor Cohen, all good channels.
Right on.
They're very good. Then we got Science and Engineering.
I don't know any of these. I've heard of I Did a Thing, but I don't know any of them other than that.
Really? That's honestly surprising. I thought you would.
Me too. I do watch several like science and tech channels, but I guess they're not nominated this year.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. I mean, shit, man. It's a thing. Don't know sports, don't care.
The only name I recognize from sports is Olivia Dunn, and that's just because of her outsized, I guess, fame.
Wasn't
basically.
She was on G4 back in the day, wasn't she?
I think you're thinking of
Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn. No, Olivia Dunn is a gymnast.
Okay.
Technology, I am familiar with Linus Tech Tips.
Yep. I also remember the video where Linus, the head guy, was backing out of the business. He was gonna stop doing the tech side, the videos, all that jazz. He was done.
Right on.
Nope. And it wasn't because like he hated it or anything like that. It was just he's just like, I need a break.
Absolutely, you got to know your limits.
Yeah, and he decided he was like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it. All right. Nothing wrong with that, my dude. So there was that. Let's see who's next. Craft Awards. Don't know any of the cinematography. Don't know any of the editing.
The only craft award that I recognize the name of is in visual and special effects. I'm familiar with the Corridor Crew.
Yeah. Oh, then there's Brand of the Year. Oh boy.
Yeah, then we get into the brand awards, and I think we could just skip that.
Yeah.
Kenny,
And that's it.
Yeah.
Roland, what is it?
where's my sissy?
She should be in her room.
But I'm not allowed in there.
Right. That means you leave her alone. Alright?
I want her.
It's fine, bud. Alright. I think I fixed that. Alright. So, yeah, that's the Streamer Awards. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. Like we were saying earlier, is just... I'm not sure. Have you ever experienced where, like, you make a game suggestion and someone just goes off the fucking rails at you?
I want to say that I have, but I'm struggling to think of a specific instance, you know. The thing is, you never know what experience someone has had either in their lifetime or in their day. You can say, well, why don't you try a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And they're like, my father was killed by a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And it's like, cool, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. And so you there's, I think, a reasonable expectation on both sides. Like, one, you're making a suggestion in good faith, therefore you shouldn't get your head bitten off about it. But two, if you know that someone has been, you know, bombarded with something, you respect that. And I think as long as we're all adults, we can do that. So, yeah, I haven't really, I can't think of an instance where I've gone, yeah, maybe you should try D&D, and they're like, I fucking hate D&D.
Yeah.
I have at best been met with mild pushback, like a guy I'm playing with on a semi-regular basis. He wanted to switch up games, and I suggested Mutants and Masterminds as a slightly more lightweight superhero game than Champions. And he had a bad experience with someone who ran Mutants and Masterminds and made it feel very samey. And I don't think it's easy for him to get past that. So once I made that suggestion, and every time the game has come up in any context, he's like, yeah, I don't really... And it's the same complaint. And I was like, I get it. I will not suggest that to this guy. But he didn't, like, bite my head off or anything.
Yeah. I've experienced the biting of the head at least a couple of times. Would I say it's, like absurd and really bad? Nah, it's... Okay, come on. Okay, come on. I love it. I'm trying to repair the damn place, and it's telling me, like, keep clicking on the right, the wrong friggin' areas.
Huh.
I love it. Because I'm trying to tranquilize something, and it's not letting me.
Yeah, generally speaking, if I mention a game and someone goes, "Ugh, I hate that," I might go, well, why do you hate it? And if it's because of something like, oh, you know, I think the game's too deadly, and I was like, well, you know, maybe you had a GM who was running it that way, but it doesn't have to be that way. I'm not going to get pushy like, oh, you know, you're wrong. You should try it because, you know, that experience was invalid somehow. No, it was their experience. They didn't care for it, and that's fine. I might try to tell them if they're willing to indulge the conversation, like, well, you can do this or this, and, you know, if you run it that way, it's not as deadly. And sometimes people will come around. I myself thought, if you'd asked me, you know, 10 years ago, hey, would you be interested in playing Call of Cthulhu, I probably would have turned you down flat, because I had no interest in it. I thought it was too deadly. I didn't like the horror themes, and it's just not my jam. But I started watching Seth Skorkowski's YouTube channel and learning more about Call of Cthulhu and seeing, you know, the way it plays as an investigation game in addition to being a horror game, and turned myself around on it. I just, you know, decided to give it a shot. And I like it.
Oh. Alright, administering sedative. Awesome. Okay, I fixed that. I was like, I can't trank this damn thing.
Yeah.
It's like, please let me fix it. Dino has a broken bone. Let me fix.
Huh.
I would say though the game where I might like the only game I've really ever had like any kind of visceral reaction to has been White Wolf games. And especially the LARPs. And that's because I just had bad storytellers.
Yep.
And I understand that it is the storyteller, not the game, that was the problem. For the most part.
Absolutely.
Now, does this mean that I think that the games are perfectly fine and, you know, they're great? Nah, I know there are problems.
Mommy? I think Rose is outside.
Yeah, I will say that White Wolf is
Rose is outside.
not,
Yes,
because of a variety of reasons, it's not a game that I indulge in lightly. Just because I think the setting is written in such a way as to be too bleak to really catch my interest most of the time. I know that the games are set up like you're playing a monster and, you know, trying to reconcile living at the fringes of humanity and, you know, trying to cling on to these shreds of humanity. Like, no, I just want to play, you know, a nice guy who happens to be a vampire.
Yeah.
Or a nice guy who happens to be a werewolf. It doesn't always have to be about how much I'm fucking suffering in whatever moment. Jesus, give the angst a rest.
Yeah, just a bit.
But that just means that I'm not the main target audience for White Wolf in general, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's like, come on, like, some common sense, please.
Yeah, Mage is probably my favorite just because it's the least, like, holy crap, the world is shit and then we're gonna die, and, you know, it's just like, oh my god, how do you have fun playing this? I just do not understand that mindset.
Like, I don't get it.
And more power to people who do enjoy it. You know, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, so to speak, but it's just not something I wrap my brain around easily. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I've only ever run in the White Wolf universe. I've only ever run like one-shots. I've never run a campaign in White Wolf because I'm just the wrong storyteller for that. Now, I will say this, 10 years ago, I would have said I'm the wrong storyteller for Call of Cthulhu. But I know better that, you know, it doesn't have to be the stereotypical Call of Cthulhu campaign. I think that's what I've been dancing around this whole time, is like, some games have a stereotype of how they're played.
That's true. I would agree with that.
If you look past that stereotype, you can get a much wider range of experiences that appeal to more people. But yeah, that stereotype is going to affect things. Just like all stereotypes can affect people's perceptions and expectations.
That's fair. How about you, Ann? Do you have any games that give you that visceral reaction of like, no, I really do not want this game?
Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate?
You know exactly which game I will never touch because of the DM that tanked it for me.
Okay, can you share? Are you comfortable with that?
I don't remember the name of the system.
Which game was it?
They killed off my brother and then they killed off
Alright, I know which one. Exalted.
Yeah.
I know which game she's talking about. They mix Exalted and Scion together in some sort of weird hodgepodge.
I mean, that doesn't sound powerful enough. You need a little Dragon Ball Z in there.
Some of the characters were that powerful.
I know, I was kidding.
I'm just sitting there going, no. Oh my god, that was just...
It was just stupid. And then they let people do... They gave us the ability to do all the crazy shit. And I saw where the DM was going with this. The DM was making us the bad guys. I could see the writing on the wall from what he had us doing. Because he would always give us options that were always bad. And we'd always end up trying to pick the lesser of the evils to do. But it was just it was irritating, and I got help to make a character while I wasn't feeling well. So I ended up with this horrible time playing because I was just given bad advice and then wasn't allowed to change anything. It was just a clusterfuck of a game.
Yep.
Yep. Alright, so we do have the Ask Me Anything. Squidgy has asked, Pathfinder Druid, what are the pros and cons of choosing a domain, animal companion, and druidic herbalism?
Yeah, I assume, Squidgy, that you are referring to Pathfinder First Edition here.
I'm going to say that's probably correct. Because...
Okay.
What?
Can I have a toy one?
Toys?
No one can watch you out here.
Fine. Just shush. Alright, let's look at the rules, and then we can go from there. Yeah, he said yes. Okay.
All right.
Alright. So, where is it? Nature Bond. Here we go. So you get to choose either a domain, an animal companion, or the variant, which is druidic herbalism. I am going to say this about Nature Bond. Alright? Do not get me wrong about the domain aspect. You can do some cool things with the domain aspect if you're gearing towards a certain flavor of character.
Yes.
But if you're going to take the domain one, just play a nature cleric.
Yeah. I mean...
Because literally everything you get as a druid, you can do as a nature cleric if you take the domain version.
The only thing that would distinguish you would be the wild shape still.
And even then, you can still do that with spellcasting.
You could do that with spellcasting, yes. The problem with the domain option is that most of the domains are very nature and druid oriented, which means they are mostly giving you spells you already have.
Yeah, you very rarely will get something that is unique.
Right. Now, so you would get an additional spell to cast at each level from your chosen domain, but I don't think that is worth giving up your options.
They ran off because I told them to come inside and I couldn't talk.
I'm going to say that Animal Companion is probably my favorite. It's maybe not strictly optimal because at higher levels your Animal Companion can get
Go to bed.
Yes,
But-
and here's the thing, though, and this is the problem with animal companions. Animal companions, the con is, yes, your animal companion will die very quickly if you put them into combat. My recommendation has always been with an animal companion, don't make a combat one.
Right.
Go with, like, a bird for a scout, or a rat, or if you have the vermin capabilities of an animal companion, say, like, you're playing a drow druid. You can get vermin, you can get spiders, scorpions, things of that nature. Make your animal companion something that is useful other than just an HP tank.
Right.
Like, don't put it in direct combat constantly. That's really useful, especially the bird version. Mm-hmm. You can get that above view on, combat, and that can help you with targeting spells.
Absolutely. And I will say that the herbalism version, I think it's neat and thematic, and if I were doing like an NPC druid, I would be very inclined to use that. But unless the campaign is very specifically geared toward it, I don't think it's going to be as useful as the animal companion.
My argument for the herbalism is this. It could be insanely useful for one simple reason.
Okay.
It's the same reason why I argue for scrolls.
Okay.
It's extra spells per day beyond your daily limit.
Okay.
And that can be potent. But
mean...
Squidgy said, I remember what all you managed to do with your toad and your witch. That was a familiar. You can do similar things with an animal companion, and there are feats geared towards making animal companions more potent. Have I told you about the toad, Gamera?
Don't think so.
Okay. So, the toad I had was a, give Give me a second. I have a sick dino now. Oh, wrong one. At desk? Okay, there we go. Oh, I have to research infected wound. Okay. Poor dino's got an infected wound. Alright. So, I was playing a witch. Alright? And I picked, as my familiar, a poisonous toad. Alright?
Okay.
So I picked a toad. I picked it with a DC 12 poison, which is, let's be brutally honest, not that impressive. Alright?
Right.
And the poison was a paralytic poison. It would paralyze the target for 1 round.
Yep.
That's all it could do. So I talked with the DM, which was Squidgy, and I asked if I could take certain feats to improve my familiar. In particular, some alchemist feats.
Right.
So, one, to change the style and shape of the poison, because the paralytic poison was a contact poison.
Right.
I asked if I could change it into a spit.
Okay.
So that the toad could spit poison at things. And I was like, he was okay with it. It was fine. The poison did 1 point of damage when I spit at someone if I hit.
Right.
Because it was the spit was totaled out to be 1d3 minus his strength.
Right.
And his strength was like 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, I ain't doing shit. Then I also took certain feats to that were alchemist feats to improve the poison's DC.
Sure.
And eventually I was able to take a feat to improve the type of the poison from not just a spit, but also an AoE gas.
Oh, well, yes, then.
Mind you, I had to be double digits to take that feat.
Yeah.
Alright?
Reasonable.
So it was reasonable. The level requirement was at minimum level 12.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, this makes sense. And it was an alchemist-only feat, and I asked for permission from the DM to do so.
Sure.
You can take a variety of animal companion feats to make your animal companion also equally as dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the animal you grab and what you do with it. There are feats to give your animal companion some of your spells.
Yeah.
And when I say some of your spells, I'm not talking about, oh, you cast a spell on them and they can hold it or something like that. No, I am talking about the animal companion will get somewhere between, I think it's the equivalent of a level 2 or less spell that they can cast on themselves once per day. As if they were using the magic item ability, spell storing.
Right.
But it had a level 2 limit instead of a level, I think spell storing's level 3.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, it's slightly weaker, and it also has the effect that it can only be cast on self. So, you can get an animal companion who can cast invisibility on itself. Which makes an excellent scout.
Oh, by the way, your paperwork.
Sure.
In case you still
So, you could do stuff like that.
I found it buried under stuff.
Now, with the alchemist thing, there's also a feat that if you take with the alchemist one, you can allow some of the potions you're making last longer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that option as well. The biggest upside with the nature bond one, the herbalist bond, is you get a bunch more spells from level 3 or less. Okay?
You do.
Which helps, like craziness. Also, as you level, you get to make those things cheaper.
That's what I was getting at, is really the herbalism, once you get to like 7th level and they are free,
Yeah.
then that's really cool. Or
Yeah.
I think it's free.
Third level. Oh, higher than 3rd level, but they have to spend the spell slot to do it. And
Okay, so yeah, there's that.
so not only do you get 3rd level or lower from Brew Potion, now you can get higher.
Right.
And they don't cost you anything to create and function like extracts created by an alchemist with the infusion discovery. So
Right, that's the special concoction. The normal ones, I think, basically you only get to have the cost.
yeah, half the cost, which is still really good. But there is a con with it.
Yes.
You have to have a place to make them. It takes time to make them. It eats up gold to make them.
Yes, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, this is something that, if you're in the right kind of campaign where you guys are like maybe the defenders of a particular forest, so you can have your little druid lair with your herbalism set up and have a base of operations, I think that makes a lot of sense. If you guys are the typical adventuring party kind of traveling around, it's a little harder to make the case. Not impossible. I think it still could be a fun option, but I would lean towards the animal companion for like the generic Pathfinder game.
Yeah, a generic Pathfinder, I'd say, yeah, go animal companion, and then one of the first feats you take, other than natural spell, which you take at 5th level, Scribe Scroll.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot state to the usefulness to like any extreme level how useful Scribe Scroll is for any caster.
The amount of bullshit you can do with just a store of scrolls is ridiculous.
Not just that, but if you also have a bard or rogue in your party, you just now made a second caster of your class.
Yep.
And they can do some kooky shit.
Yep.
So there is that. And some of the things you can do with Scribe Scroll is also kind of heinous. For example, mind you, this is 5th ed, but there's a Pathfinder semi-version of it, which someone made a video on it, and it's called Harry Potter and the Nuclear Fireball of Death.
You can actually do it.
Yeah. So, Gamera, do you remember how many pages in a standard spellbook?
It's 100, isn't it?
It's 100. All right? That's 100 pages.
Sure.
All right? With this ability, you use Glyph of Warding on every page, and you put a fireball in it. And you set the glyph to a command word or phrase.
Yes.
All right? And it could be, like the guy in the video said the phrase, "This is for Dobby." All right? With that being said, you put a glyph on the cover, and instead of putting fireball in that glyph, you put in magic mouth, forcing them to say the command phrase, and you chuck the book at them.
Yep.
You now just have, and if you go with Intensify spell, which is 15d6.
You can also maximize it.
We're not even counting maximize. Jesus Christ. AP, hey!
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a lot of fire.
That is 1500 d6 fire damage.
DM said I'm not allowed to do that.
And that's not without it empowered and maximized. If I empower it, times 1.5, so that's 2,250 d6. And if we maximize it, which is a 6 on that die, that's 13,500 damage. In a 20-foot radius.
That is a fuck everything in this room kind of thing.
So, yes, here's the thing.
AP's like, speaking of fire damage, yeah, there's the fireball.
The spell glyph version of Glyph of Warding says harmful spell of 3rd level or lower. Those meta magic feats would raise the level.
That's true.
I probably would not allow them as GM, but it's still a lot of fireball.
Yeah, that's still 1,500 d6 damage. 1,000 d6 damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
With an average of 3.5, so you're looking at 3,500 damage.
3,500 points of fire damage, which, if something's not immune to fire, it's probably gonna die.
It's probably gonna look like frickin' God, what was her name?
It's gonna be a briquette.
It's gonna look like Sarah Connor in Terminator 2. In that dream sequence.
Yeah. The other, I guess, drawbacks are the requirements of Glyph of Warding. In Pathfinder, it's 10 minutes to cast each glyph.
Yeah, and
You
you
take the book with you and you just work on the book until it's done.
Yes.
there's also the fact that it does eat up that spell level every time you put a spell into that glyph.
Yes, and it requires powdered diamond worth 200 gold pieces. So you're
that's
spending 20,000 gold pieces of diamond. On a nuke. There are definitely reasons to do this.
fuck this BBEG in particular.
Let's see,
That's
1,000.
something you use like against a god.
No, Squidgy said, could you imagine standing outside the fireball area of effect? Give me a second. I have a picture for this. Give me a second. I need a card. What the fuck? Give me a second. Give me a second.
The amount of bullshit you could do with that.
Alright,
Yeah.
I have a video.
I don't want to deal with this army nuke book.
Alright, I'm gonna show the video. Give me a second. Display, capture. Yep, okay. Here we go.
Rule of God is incoming.
What's the blast radius on this bitch?
Yes.
Actually, that's not very loud for you guys.
Rule of God is incoming.
God damn, I didn't want...
Blast radius on this bitch?
Yes.
Can you... Okay, I want to pause it. God damn. I love it when it's doing this and it's like, nope, 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 nope. It's like, asshole. Oh, ad break. Yeah. Alright. I saw a
Rule of
picture.
God is incoming.
God damn it. When I start at the beginning, I do not want to start the fucking video. Like, I don't understand why it keeps doing that. It's so...
Because it hates you.
So annoying when it does that. It's like, fucking Christ.
Let's see.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be it. I'm going to use this picture. It's an old historical picture, so I can't get into trouble.
Yeah.
That's how I feel the party's going to be. Like, let's all put on sunglasses. Fuck this. Alright.
No, it's one of those moments of, I'm gonna do it. No, don't. I'm gonna do it. No, don't. I'm gonna fucking do it. Shit, run.
So I'm looking at this glyph of warding trigger and thinking of other nasty ways you could use this.
Oh, there's a ton.
Well, just thinking along the lines of specific spells that you could use to mess with this. What about a summon monster 3 type spell that summons some kind of swarm? Because swarms can occupy
the same space
as another creature, so you could have literally 100 swarms. It's like 100 swarms of rot grubs or whatever the hell you want, just on the target creature.
This little 20-foot circle here is going to have so many swarms that when you open the door, they're just going to spill out like the fucking popcorn from whatever that Genius movie was.
Yeah,
I forget the name of the movie. It had Val Kilmer in it, and like this dude's house got completely filled with popcorn.
Real Genius.
Real Genius. Thank you. It'll be that.
I was thinking of like the beetle swarms from the Mummy movies.
Oh god, the scarabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's heinous.
So yeah, fuck that big bad evil guy in particular. We could do 3,500 points of fire damage, sure, but On the other hand, we could have him devoured instantaneously by hungry scarab beetles.
All right. So this is the picture, by the way, Squidgy, I had in mind. It is that would be what the party would be like in the Fireball area effect. They'd just all be sitting there, big ass sunglasses on, just going, "Okay," it's bright as hell.
Axel's dead finally.
Or
I really want to do that to that house in the game, though.
there's also this thing.
Rule of God is incoming.
What's the blast radius on this bitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Now I know what you meant by the blast radius is yes.
The blast radius is yes. Yeah, that'd be like, I just, as soon as you mentioned, it was like, what are the people like outside? I just pictured the artificer, whoever set this up, because, let's be brutally honest, an artificer would make this book.
My wizard tried.
Yeah.
Mark said no.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds like something an artificer would do. They would just put on sunglasses, and they would just hand sunglasses or goggles to all their friends, going, watch this shit.
Put this on. Watch what happens.
You're gonna need this. Or, like, he puts down, like, a freaking welding helmet with, like, a little...
Just lowers the visor, locks it into place.
Shunk!
Like, why do you need that? Oh, you'll need these.
It's just like, fuck this guy. And the funny thing is, if you have a wizard who has the right type of school of magic in Pathfinder, you can actually change the element of the fireball to whatever you want without a level increase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mixture wizard.
Yeah, the elemental admixture, yeah.
Yeah.
It was me. I was trying to make one of each element type.
So it's like, oh yeah, it's not, you know, 1000 d6 of fire damage. It's now like 250 of fire, 250 d6 of ice, of acid, and of, you know, electricity. So if you're...
One of those is gonna hit.
Yeah, one of them is gonna fuck you up. You can't be immune to all.
Yep.
I was told no, I'm not allowed to do that.
Well, that would be a little game breaking.
We were playing through the Rise of the Rune Lords campaign.
I see.
Oh, look, the dinos are fighting. And he's glitching into the tree.
Yeah.
Are they going to fight through the tree? Do it. Do it. No, they're not. God damn it.
Bark worse than his bite.
Yep. Oh my god. Let's see, what else would I recommend when it comes to animal companions? So, one, there are several magic items to help make animal companions better.
Sure.
Check those out. They're
Dire colors are amazing.
Yeah, dire collars are really fun if you're going for a combat one.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun thing is, do not be, unless you have a story reason to keep one animal companion in particular, don't be afraid to let one go. If you know that it's not likely to survive whatever encounter you're doing, you could be the better person and just let the animal go. When I'm done with school in a year and a half, I want to, I'm guessing, run Return of the Rune Lords, which is the sequel to Rise of the Rune Lords.
Yeah.
That could be fun. I will try my best, Squidgy, Scout's honor, that I will not make a broken character again.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna try, man.
Bullshit.
No, dude,
Bullshit.
I can't even... No, dude, like, we were facing the Rune Lord of Greed, I believe it was.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the Rise of the Rune Lords. I was able to position myself in such a way that I used Wail of the Banshee on him as a witch.
Nice.
And I basically single-handedly killed his ass.
Yeah.
Just by a little rat man screaming at it.
We also pulled the bullshit loop of nonsense.
Would you like to explain that one?
It's 3 different spells that it pretty much creates a time loop. I pulled the Doctor Strange on the big bad guy just in case, so we could always make sure that he was stuck.
Oh yeah, she had a spell that if she cast it, wherever she cast it, if she died, and like say the rest of the party died, time would rewind for her, just her alone, and she would spawn where she casted the spell, complete with all the spells she had before.
Okay.
Contingency and something else.
Yeah,
Contingency, so as soon as I hit 1, it teleported me, or reset me.
It was 0. As soon as you hit 0, you essentially died and got reset back in time.
Okay.
Rinse and repeat.
And she could keep casting the spell.
Right.
Because she would have all those spells again as if she didn't cast the spell already.
Right.
So essentially, she could pull Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And I did that so just in case bullshit happened, I could keep the asshole busy so he couldn't do anything while the party... Because the party also had a contingency on them, so if they hit 0, they would get teleported back to our base so they could heal.
Mm.
And then come back and get my ass. But I could keep him busy because this wouldn't stop for me.
Right.
So death by 1,000 popes. No guarantee I'd be sane by the time they got back, but it was at least a stopgap measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily we didn't need it, and so that helped.
Always nice to have the safety net, though.
Oh yeah, always nice to have that. And that was her wizard, I believe, that had that. Who ended up at that point being my cohort.
Yeah, because I died twice of the same frickin' spell.
Oh yeah, that was
Phantasmal Killer. For some reason, my character could not make the save for that goddamn spell.
Yeah, it was just like, come on.
Aw.
It was an annoying spell, but it's annoying for a reason.
Yeah.
I could make the save on anything else that somebody threw at me, but for some reason, that spell always beat my save.
Yeah.
We also have Takashi and myself, so you would know him as someone else, but you know him in person.
I do.
We want our friend Bishop to run Kingmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And me and him don't want to be the leaders. Neither of
Okay.
us want to be the Baron. We want to be the power behind the throne.
Asset transportation underway.
Like, I want to play like a high intelligence character.
Right.
And I think Takashi wanted to do Bard?
Okay.
I think it was maybe Bard. I forget what he was looking for. I know he was high charisma. And we want to see if we can't convince someone to be the leader instead of us.
Yeah, you were trying to Shanghai me into it, and I went, if I have to wrangle you two, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get more guests in the park. All right.
Ooh. Sorry, I've just I saw an article dropped of spoilers for a new Magic the Gathering set, the Doctor Who set, and so I was just checking that out.
Oh, man. They're getting licensing for everything these days.
Yeah, we've had Lord of the Rings, we've had Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons. It's crazy.
I am honestly surprised with the Warhammer community because a lot of them didn't react nearly as strongly as they have in other things in history.
Hmm.
Which honestly did surprise me.
Fair.
So there was that. Oh, I'm still worried about this whole wizard thing because, like, I've seen their tabletop stuff, like their VTT, and I can see the writing on the wall. It's going to be freaking lots of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be loaded with it. Alright, where am I going to put the next cage? I guess I could put it over here?
The 10th Doctor is red and blue. I approve.
Which one's the 10th Doctor?
David Tennant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see him being red-blue. I could see it being red-blue.
So the interesting things about the Doctor Who set, at least from my perspective as a longtime Magic player who has kind of faded out of it, is one, it's bringing back the suspend mechanic from Time Spiral, which was a block that I really liked, where you could exile a card for a lesser cost, and then it would come in a few turns. Essentially, it would like be exiled and have a time token that you would remove each turn until it, you removed the last one, and then it was cast. And the other thing is, it's got a mechanic that we haven't seen since Plane Chase, called Planeswalking, where essentially you have Magic battles that are taking place on different planes.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool to see that come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is kind of neat. I mean, I don't hate it, but that's definitely different. Actually, give me a second. Wasn't there... Oh, yeah, I need a huge one. That's right. Don't need those. Alright, let me get rid of those. Oh, another dead dino. Who died? The Amergosaurus. Alright. Amergosaurus. Population 1. Modified genome. I was gonna say... Random. Random. I love it when my brain just basically takes a hiatus.
Isn't that your normal?
I know, but it's just annoying. I know it too. I would say that when it comes to... Oh, Enzo! Hey, how's it going? I gotta send my people on a break. Yeah, but I do need that dino. Alright, so I'll just do this. Alright, set that to incubate. Oh, yes, that's right. I need to build a big one. Do I have... I thought I had the gyro. No, I don't. I have to research it. Can I? Yes, I can. There's the gyro. Rose, go to bed. Alright. Yeah, that emote's adorable.
Yeah.
There are some things about Magic that I enjoyed back in the day, but I couldn't keep up with the hobby.
Me neither, honestly. I enjoy the way the game plays in the abstract. Like, I enjoy the mechanics of the cards and everything. The problem for me was twofold. One, there are players who are very competitive, and then there are players who don't know what they're doing, and then there are players in the middle. And I'm in the middle, and I always seem to end up against, players who don't know what they're doing, which is just kind of frustrating, or players who are hyper competitive. It's like, I'm not trying to win on turn 2, guy. Come on.
Yeah.
And then the other flip side of that is the game, I think, has become more accelerated over the years. So, back in the day, yes, you could have a channel fireball turn 2 win, but that was something that they would ban or restrict because that wasn't the norm. You were expected to develop the game, get to turn 5 or 6 before you're in danger of losing. And I think we've creeped back towards like turn 3 victories, and it frustrates me. It's like, I barely started playing this game and I've already won or lost. That's not that interesting to me.
Yeah, that was never fun for me. What, Rose? What? Ask Mommy. I'm not going to give you an answer for that. Because I have a feeling she already asked and got told no.
Makes sense.
Alright. I will say, though, that when it came to other games, though, I've enjoyed. Other than, standard TTRPGs, which we've talked.
Yeah.
I've played Magic. I've enjoyed Magic. If I do play Magic, I tend to focus on either two color combinations that I really enjoy. I either do black and blue, aka the counter and control deck, or I'm gonna make my opponent flip over the goddamn table.
Yeah, the rat bastard deck.
The rat bastard deck. I remember my old black blue deck that you loved to trounce with some of your decks, but like when it got going, you hated the shit out of it.
I mean, control as a mechanic is horrible to play against because essentially you're having to deliberately slow down the pace of your play to lure out counter spells and keep your own deck from being nuked.
Look at this guy. He's pretty. Oh, the other one, not so much. I got this Amerigosaurus that came out that's black with green, like a green stripe kind of thing going down it.
Ooh.
And it looks beautiful. Like, it'll come up on stream here shortly. Currently, the brown one has his head inside the black one.
Yeah.
Fucking clipping, man.
But yeah, blue is very frustrating to play against, and once upon a time I was one of those players who reveled in blue, and I can still enjoy playing a blue-influenced control deck, but it's very adversarial. Like, even in a game where you're one-on-one and you're supposed to beat the tar out of the other player, it just feels like such a dick thing to do. It's just like, am I going to let you do that? I think I'll let you do that.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Yeah, it's like...
And that's exactly the kind of player he is, which is annoying. This is why I never bothered to learn the rules of the game, because I never wanted to play against it.
See, this is the problem, because, like, for example, I play chess.
Sure.
But I don't play chess in the traditional sense.
Okay.
No, you play it to fuck with everybody's head.
Yeah, I psychologically mess with my opponent while playing chess.
You're a chess troll?
I am a chess troll. And I don't realize I'm doing it. Like,
I see.
I just do it. Because it was one of the few ways I could ever beat my uncle and my grandfather and my dad at chess. Because my uncle Andre, he literally plays chess all day. Aside from...
It seemed appropriate.
It seemed appropriate. But no, like, my Uncle Andre played chess all the time. And he was super good at it. I could never beat him in a traditional sense. So the only way I could beat him was to psychologically mess with him. And so I developed that skill set when I play chess.
Right. You make a move that doesn't necessarily advance any particular strategy, but it makes the other player go, what's he trying to do?
Well, not even just that. Sometimes, like, when my opponent goes to reach for a certain piece, I'll grin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like, I will give off body cues of things I want them to do and not do.
Yep.
But in reality, it's sometimes the opposite.
Yeah, that's just good psych out play, I think.
Yeah.
And you might want to mention why Uncle Andre plays chess all day, so people don't think you're being a jerk to one of your elders just to be a jerk.
Uncle Andre has polio.
Mm-hmm.
He is no longer capable of walking. His literal income is from literally businesses paying him to solve their problems.
Okay.
Like, he is just so much of a logical thinker, that's literally what they pay him to do. And I don't know if he's still alive or not, but I know that, like, the last time I spoke with him, dude was making a six-figure income doing this.
Good for him.
Yeah, like, dang, man, like, go him. He's one of 3 family members we have in my family who makes a 6-figure income.
Right on.
My cousin Matthew is the second one. He works for Microsoft developing disability software.
Cool.
That's his shtick. He makes a 6-figure income. The third person that made a 6-figure income is on my mother's side. They're out in Colorado, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they do. I just know they have a metric shit ton of money.
Okay.
Like, all the time. And I have no clue why. So yeah, for all of you, those who have disabilities and things of that nature, if you can figure out how to use your mind or your skill set, you can make a crap ton of money.
Sometimes, if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Like, Uncle Andre got lucky. I will say that.
You do have to have the right opportunity, and sometimes that is not forthcoming.
Yeah.
But, you know, just because there's a disability that hinders your ability to earn and, you know, make yourself feel useful doesn't mean that there isn't the right opportunity out there that you can, you know, use to actually sustain yourself and even prosper.
Yeah. I need someone with high logistics. Oh, cheaper research. Hell yeah. Go with you. Cheaper research. That's a logistics specialist. Research. Oh man, you're going to be expensive. Alright. And last one. Cost of research tasks. Yes, we'll take you. Alright. There you go. Confirm.
I've never really been much of a chess player. I know the rules to the game, and I will play it occasionally. I think the last time I played it was last year. One of my friends was here, along with my parents who were visiting, and trying to find some video game to involve my parents, and chess was on the table, and Dad always liked chess, but I was pleased that I was able to beat him, because Dad very much was a chess player, though I think he was a little out of practice, but then again, so was I. So
yeah. So chess was one thing I played very often. It's fine. Another thing that I've done back in the past that wasn't TTRPGs was Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually did have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck for a while. Oh, I forgot to mention the other color combo in Magic I played a lot.
Ah, yes.
That was red-green.
I like red-green. Not the Canadian guy.
No, I did red-green because I was doing a draft tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And the first card I pulled was a red-green. This was during Cons of Takir.
Okay.
And so those big into dragons and Mongols.
Yep.
And I pulled a Mongol. She had, like, all these bonuses to basically murder dragons.
Right.
And everybody else that was at my table was constantly grabbing dragons.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm just going to grab this card, and I'm going to make a red-green deck. And I ended up getting 3rd place at the tournament because of it.
Nice.
The guy who got first had a rainbow deck.
That's tricky to make work, but wow.
Well, he was grabbing just land cards that he wanted.
Uh-huh.
He didn't care if he was going to win the tournament or not. And he made a rainbow deck of multicolored lands.
Okay.
Danny, go elsewhere.
It was in my mom's room.
Oh, no. Go elsewhere.
But it was in my mom's room.
Alright, took something from the kids. Naja, if you catch the boys, I just took a lighter from them. They couldn't have activated it because it requires special buttons. Oh, wait, never mind. It's just a trigger. One of those lighters. Never mind. Yeah, that was good. Good, I grabbed that.
Very good.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind my tavern getting fireballed despite how many times it bloody happens. But I don't want my house burning to the ground.
No, absolutely not.
I'd very much not like that. Speak of the devil. There goes my, my tavern getting fireballed.
So, yeah, red and green. I love the classic Bernie Stompy combination. Honestly, you name almost any two colors in Magic, and I'm like, I can think of a deck that I've enjoyed along those lines.
Yeah.
I would say my least favorite color in Magic as presented tends to be black, just because I don't really like the aesthetics of zombies and undead and all, that stuff. The exception being black-blue, like mill, not control. I don't know what it was, but once milling was introduced as like a thing in Magic, I was just like, oh man, I gotta make this work somehow. And it took years for them to release cards that actually made milling really viable. But
especially Jace. One of the early Jace cards made it very viable.
I'll tell you what, it was even before Jace, because Ravnica released Glimpse the Unthinkable, which was 1 black and 1 blue, target player mills 10 cards. And that actually made it somewhat viable to mill your opponent to death.
Oh, yeah.
But I was trying to do this even before that. I don't know if you remember way back in the day, there was a card called Howling Mine. And Howling Mine, basically, for every Howling Mine in play, whenever any player draws a card, they draw an extra card. And so you could have up to 4 Howling Mines, and everybody's drawing 5 cards per turn. And that burns through everybody's deck really quick, and the trick is, of course, that you make sure you have something like I think it was Felden's Cane, that allows you to recycle your graveyard into your draw deck, and pretty soon your opponent has milled out and you're sitting pretty.
Yeah. One game where I did something similar to that was the World of Warcraft card game.
Okay.
I made a Paladin deck that, the way it was designed, I didn't mill my opponent, but I was constantly healing my character. So, like, every damage you did to me, I was instantly negating. Like, on my next round.
Right.
And then one of the resource cards I had was called Blue Leaf Tubers. Every time I completed Blue Leaf Tubers, I could reshuffle my graveyard into my deck.
Okay.
Now, people are like, well, you're only allowed to have 4 Blue Leaf Tubers, so what? You would eventually run out of the ability to do that. I'm like, no, because some of the heals I put into my deck says sacrifice 1 resource, heal X damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always be sacrificing my Blue Leaf Tubers, putting them in the graveyard, shuffling them into my deck, and pulling them out again.
Yep.
Because one of the abilities I had on my Paladin was, I think it was like heal 5 damage in 1 round, and you get to search your deck for a resource card and put it into play.
Yep.
So it was just like, I'm just going to recycle shit constantly.
Yeah. And I love combos like that.
Yeah, I caused someone who was playing the Annexia Raid deck as a single-player deck. Now, you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No.
Raid decks are designed to have multiple players play against the one deck.
Gotcha.
So the fact that he was doing that is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And so I looked at him and I soloed his Annexia Raid deck. And he just lost his shit.
That actually Yeah, that reminds me of one of my favorite Magic interactions, going back to talking about the really competitive type players. I was doing Friday Night Magic at a local game store down around where I am, and this was back during the time when Time Spiral Block was out, because that was the first time I got back into Magic, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd quit once and I'd gotten back in, and I was buying a bunch of cards. I really loved those Time Spiral cards because there was Split Second, which was a mechanic that essentially meant that you had to resolve it before you could put any other cards on the stack. So it's like you couldn't counterspell those kinds of cards effectively, and it just really cool stuff like that. And this guy, his name is Russell. Who, I'm assuming he's not listening. I still see him around the scene. Russell was a competitive player, and Russell had gone to the state tournament a number of times. And Russell was at Friday Night Magic with the fucking Power 9. Like, he had a deck built for vintage Type 1 Magic to go to states, and he was playing it at Friday Night Magic.
Jesus.
And the way his deck worked was that he would... I think his first turn he would put out a land and maybe an artifact or something, and then the idea was on the second turn he would put out a bunch of stuff, a lot of the zero cost artifacts like your Moxes, your Black Lotuses, and things like that. The idea being to build up your spell cast count, because the win condition was playing, I think it was called Tendrils of Agony, which was you deal 2 damage to target player and you gain 2 life, and it had Storm. Now, Storm, if you recall, is a triggered ability on a card that says, for each spell that has already been cast this turn, copy this spell. So the concept was he would do something such that he could essentially cast 9 spells through his various means, and then play Tendrils of Agony so that it would deal 20 damage to his opponent on turn 2, and then he would win. Jeez. Which is just fucking nasty, and he's playing this at Friday Night Magic. The reason why I will never forget this as long as I live is because I was playing a jank-ass, I think it was a red-blue deck, and it was just like the Time Spiral Block stuff. And I was, I had my Split Seconds and my all this other stuff, and I loved red blue. It was a fun combination of like a little bit of control, a little bit of burn. But he does his turn 1. I think I got first turn, so I did a turn 1. He did turn 1. I did my turn 2, and I had 2 mana available. And then it was his turn 2, and he did his trick. And I said, okay, I tapped my 2 mana and I cast Trickbind. Trickbind was from, I forget if it was from the original Time Spiral or one of the subsequent sets, Planner Chaos or Future Sight. Trickbind is counter target triggered ability. So I countered the Storm ability on Tendrils of Agony. So he was playing this turn 2 win condition, just absolutely fuck anybody who comes up against him. And I am playing this jank-ass red and blue deck out of nowhere, and I have the exact amount of mana I need and the perfect answer to counter him. So, yeah, I tap my 2 mana, I cast that, counter the Storm ability. He just stops, looks down at it, scoops his cards, and leaves.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm just like, I mean, this has to hurt on a couple of levels. One, because I'm playing a jank-ass deck you could get for $20, and he's, playing this horrible Uber deck. And 2, this is exactly not the kind of thing that he will be facing at States. This is not good practice for him. If you go to Friday Night Magic, you're not going to get the kind of opponents that you're going to see at a state tournament. Yeah. So basically, he played himself.
Congrats, you played yourself.
Yeah, and just, having that perfect answer, the one thing I could have possibly had to just stop him cold, I had.
Oh my god, that's fucking wild.
And yeah,
I love it.
I think that's probably the last time I actually played Russell. We weren't like hostile to each other. I traded him some cards and stuff later, but it's just I don't think he ever played me after that.
Yeah, that AP says that's phenomenal.
With a sword in one hand and a harp in the other, shouting my greatness from the rooftops, laying
I
bitches
love
and slaying witches,
Trickbind.
or is it laying witches and slaying bitches?
One
I
of my
can't quite
favorite
remember. I was
cards
too
for that
busy giving the
purpose.
tavern owner a reason
That
to stay
whole
in
block,
business.
though, I was having the time of my life during a time spiral block. There was another great one. Forget what it was called, but it was basically a green that destroys target enchantment or artifact, like a lot of green cards do. But it had split second on it, so you couldn't cast any spells in response to it. And I remember I was playing a big multiplayer game, lots of people in it, and this one dude was running slivers, and he had this artifact that lets you channel mana into it to get a sliver out of your deck and put it into play, and basically I killed him via mana burn before that was no longer a kill condition, before they took mana burn out, because he was like, I'm going to summon all kinds of things this turn. So he tapped a whole bunch of mana, and in response to the first use of some of his mana to summon a sliver, I did that green spell, destroying the artifact that he intended to use to spend the rest of the mana on. But until my spell resolved, he couldn't use the rest of the mana. So,
jeez,
his artifact goes away, he gets his one sliver, and then he takes a whole shit ton of mana burn because he couldn't spend the rest of the mana. I just thrive on this weird win condition shit. It makes my day.
That Faye just fireballed a tavern. I'll see, what other games have I played that have been very entertaining that weren't RPGs? Arkham Horror. I've played that quite a bit. I love that board game. It's a fun board game.
Yeah, my only beef with Arkham Horror is that it's like 3/4 of the way to just playing Call of Cthulhu.
That's true, and my biggest beef with it is it takes so long to set up and take down.
Yeah. I get that. I've actually recently played a similar game that is a little simpler called Horrified, where you have classic Universal movie monsters instead of Cthulhuoid horrors, and you as the players are different kinds of heroes trying to save villagers and fight off the monsters.
I can tell you Anne's favorite board game, or if she wants to mention it, she can.
You can. I'm doing something.
All right, Munchkin.
Ah, yes.
She loves Munchkin. She loves to make sure that one person at the table does not win.
Yes.
Usually me.
Yes.
I tend to be the target.
I don't play to win.
So there's that. I love Betrayal on House on the Hill.
That is one of my all-time favorites. I have, if you believe it, 4 versions of that game.
Jeez.
And the expansion.
Naja has the base game and the expansion.
Yep.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. And hear the lamentation of the women.
I've got the base game and the expansion. I've got the Betrayal at Baldur's Gate D&D version. I've got the it's the Scooby-Doo version. The name escapes me, but Betrayal at Mystery Manor or something. But it's the Scooby-Doo characters. And then I've got the Legacy version, which I have yet to get to play.
Wait, there's a Scooby-Doo version?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my night's been kind of crazy, and I didn't have a whole lot to say. I apologize to everyone.
No, that's quite all right. We understand.
Yeah, kids are a thing.
Betrayal at Mystery Mansion is what it's called. Scooby-Doo Betrayal at Mystery Mansion, and it's a simplified version. And generally speaking, no one ends up as the traitor per se. But yeah, it's a nice version of the game, especially if you're trying to teach somebody the principles of the game, or if you've got younger kids that want to play. It's a little little streamlined.
I have to add something to the wheel.
Oh?
Ice cream flavors.
Okay.
Faye Fox added a topic to the wheel.
Very well.
I'd say another fun game that we had was, it's similar to Betrayal, but it's different.
Okay.
It was the Battlestar Galactica board game.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I've only ever played it once, and the guy who owned it and who set it up did not set it up correctly. So we ended up playing a game where no one was the Cylon.
Yeah. That's the game. Like, somebody has to be the Cylon.
Right.
I am bored. Hi, bored. I'm Ruby.
Ooh.
I know, dad joke is bad.
I suppose you're
See, and
entitled.
Munchkin's more of a card game than it is a board game.
It is. It is. It's a competitive card game. Munchkin's very cutthroat, though.
That is true.
The nastiness you can do,
without
because
a
everybody
doubt,
can be
man.
great friends until you hit
it's
level
crazy
8, and then everybody freaking hates you.
Yeah.
You were saying, Naja?
Oh, I was just talking that I've played in some crazy Munchkin games.
Yeah. These days, when...
Especially if you get the blender deck and you start mixing all kinds of sets together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually only own 2 sets of Munchkin. I've got the base and the Star Munchkin. But, yeah, these days when my group gets together to do board game stuff, we play a lot of the Cards Against Humanity alikes. Not necessarily cards itself these days, but like the guys behind the webcomic Cyanide and Happiness have one called Joking Hazard that we play quite a bit.
Cards Against Humanity is very similar to, except they take whatever limits Cards Against Humanity had and throw that out the window.
Joking Hazard is similar, but basically you play a card off the deck that has a cartoon panel, and then the judge plays another cartoon panel to create a 1-2 setup, and then the players each submit a funny third panel idea. So it's like pictures instead of words. I mean, some of the pictures do have words on them, but it's cool that you're building essentially a 3-panel comic strip, trying to get the funniest one. So it's a little different. I'm trying to think what else we've played recently. We've been trying to branch out and try some different games here and there. There's also Trial by Trolley from the same folks who did Joking Hazard, where essentially, you know, the old trolley problem of like, okay, this train's going down the tracks, it's going to kill this person, but if you throw the switch and save that person's life, it's going to kill this other person or these other people. So you're put in the position of who gets to die. Oh yeah, What Do You Meme? We've played that one recently as well,
Yeah.
AP. But yeah, Trial by Trolley is fun because essentially you've got 2 teams, and each team is trying to say, all right, well, I'm going to try to get you to go down the other track. So you're adding things to the track like, you know, a basket full of puppies. You don't want to go down this track. You want to go down the other track. It's a bus full of nuns. You don't want to go down this track. You want to... So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I've never played Ticket to Ride.
I have it. It's decent. The only problem... Okay, that's not going to work. What the hell is this? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. Okay. Okay. That's weird. Okay. I don't like this thing. It's really odd. Alright, I'm just going to take those down. Ticket to Ride's really good.
I could talk about my all-time favorite board game, but
Sure.
I don't think anyone knows it.
Let's try it.
Well, you gotta remember, I'm old. It came out back in the, I think it was maybe early 90s, late 80s, something like that. In the US, it was called Nightmare. Everywhere else it was called Atmosphere, FEAR. And
crap.
it was this like board game that you played with a video.
Oh my god.
And it was so fun. And
I know this game. I haven't played it, but I know of it.
Alright, so Faye said, fuck the nun.
I am so excited because... Guys, I think I'm lagging. I'm sorry, I keep talking over people.
It's alright. Faye just went, fuck the nuns. They can die. I don't know what that means.
Reference to something that was said earlier.
Yeah, it's
they
reference
apparently
to
really dislike nuns.
the trial by trolley thing. Busload of nuns. Atmosphere, Nadia. I'm old enough to remember the era of VHS integrated board games, which was kind of strange. I'm trying to remember if I've actually played any of them. I don't think I ever got to play any of them. One of my friends had the Star Trek one that I always kind of wanted to try, but I never really got to play that.
I could see that being kind of fun.
I had that one, and I had a Clue one.
Okay.
And I am so excited because a company for the 30th anniversary did a Kickstarter to remake Atmosphere or Nightmare, whatever you want to call it. And I was that is the only Kickstarter I ever backed, and I actually have the game,
nice.
The updated game.
Nice.
I just have to convince people to play with me.
We will if we could ever get the kids to stop trying to murder each other long enough to have the hour to play it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other games. I recently played Carcassonne for the first time when I was at Origins, and I really enjoyed it. That's kind of a classic Euro settler placement game, which is... honestly, it's kind of strange to a lot of people I've told about that I hadn't played it before. And all my board game friends are like, you hadn't played Carcassonne? And I'm like, no.
That happens sometimes. People don't realize it. What, Rose?
I'm hungry, but I don't like anything.
Then find something to eat, for the love of the gods.
Well, we are just past 9 o'clock if you guys need to tend to some things, so...
Here in a bit, yes. She also should be in bed right now.
Yes.
Yeah. There she goes, saying hi.
Duct tape is not allowed because that's considered child abuse. But we've been tempted.
It would need to be some kind of appropriate safety harness that clips into the wall.
Yeah.
Also, you cannot use sedatives on children either. Again, it is illegal.
As tempting as it is. I love
we
my
love
kids.
our midgets, but damn, they can be a pain someday.
They're pushing the kids to the wall.
Yes, Rose, they're recommending we duct tape you to the wall.
Yeah.
She's unhappy with chat now. I feel like she feels betrayed.
Well, maybe if she went to bed on time, it wouldn't be a problem.
You hear that, Rose? Go to bed.
Eating.
Take that to Mom. She'll help you with that.
What is that?
Oh my god. I love my kids, but goddamn sometimes.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I grew up in the 90s.
When you grow up in the 90s.
When you grew up in the 90s, yep. Anne has grown up in the 90s. Me and Gamera were both 80s kids.
Yeah.
And Naja, I think you're 70s? I know Naja's older than me.
Don't make me that old. I was born in 79.
70. Okay, so you're technically late 70s, early 80s.
I am older than Naja.
Really?
I am, by a year.
Oh, I thought you were just like a year or two older than me.
For real?
Yep.
Wow. So we have Candid Gamera, the old turtle.
Yes.
Go.
Go.
Yes. I was a product of the late Carter administration.
I was Reagan.
But, you know, my formative years were the 80s. I was very much a child of the 80s.
I remember the late 80s, but mostly I remember the early 90s.
And there's Shimmer Faye Fox making me feel old.
God damn it. I am 10 years younger than his dad.
So yes, I suppose technically Naja and I are Gen X, and you, sir, are a millennial.
Yes, I am technically a millennial.
Very true. Unless you want to count us in that like micro generation of Xenials.
Yeah, I've seen so many. I mean, it's not an exact science. A lot of the generational stuff is bullshit. I've seen Gen X cut off at 82. I've seen it cut off at 80. But yeah, there's all kinds of different ways to look at it. I will say that most of my friends tend to be a couple of years younger than me. I tend to pal around with a lot of millennials. But yeah, I guess I still pass for.
Most of my friends are younger than me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Squidgy is definitely on there for younger friends. I think the only person that's even remotely close to his age is our friend Melody.
Hmm.
Everybody else is significantly younger than him. Oh, they're fighting. Yes, fight.
I was so happy not being the baby of the group for once.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think. My gaming group in terms of age range, I believe my oldest regular player, like the one who shows up all the time, is about 3 years older than me.
Is that Eric?
No, Eric and I are roughly the same age.
Okay.
He was born in September of '77, so he is not a year older than me, but you know.
Faye, 24 is fine. You're not that young, but you're not
Yeah.
old either.
Yeah. The youngest person in my main gaming group, I think, is mid-20s.
24.
Rose, stop. Go.
So, yeah, probably about 24 to 48-ish is the range on my core group.
Okay, that's fair.
And then, of course, when when Shimmer's getting younger,
Oh God.
by the end of the stream, they'll be in their teens. One of my occasional players is late 50s.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been some crazy stuff I've experienced in my life, and I can only imagine how much crazier it's been for people of older generations.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot imagine how nutty it has to be for that. It's just like...
Yeah, like the boomers who've had to deal with like the rise of technology, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know there's a way that you can see. That's not the park list. What is it? Is it? Oh no, it's management views. That's what I was looking for. Attraction. Alright, so a few more. Yeah, 1 vehicle per 100 meters. Okay, that's fine. Girlfriend just turned 25. Oh, congrats. I'm glad that she is definitely aging, though I would not recommend aging for anyone.
Yes.
For everyone. It's there are days I'm like, God damn it, I wish I could, be a teenager again. I'll deal with the awkwardness if I don't have to deal with
God,
the
I'm happy
the
I'm not a
bills.
teen anymore.
Yeah, I am blessed not to have any serious age-exacerbated health problems, but just the occasional like, oh man, did I sleep wrong? Is that gonna ruin my entire day? Am I gonna be moving slow? It would be nice to be able to take back about 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. I'd take 10 years. Okay, that goes here. Alright. Alright, so we turn you. That goes there. I'm in the process of arranging. Wait, oh, that's the zip line. Damn it. Not the one I wanted. Alright, there we go. Hun, is that the dog I hear?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we're getting an ad break. Oh, God. It's supposed to warn me before an ad break. AP, I'm turning 31 in September, and I miss my youth. I have a knee injury from exercising it too much. Ouch. Yeah, I get that. That sucks.
You know what? I feel you, AP. I started having knee problems at 21. Like, basically, my cartilage was gone. So, yeah, knee problems suck.
Yep, I fully expect that I am going to end up with knee issues. I can feel it some days.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes. Foobarring your back at 21 sucks.
Yep.
Oh, there's a limit. Okay. Alright, so I could do this. Alright.
Zip line them right under the electric fence.
Yep. It'll be just like that kid in Jurassic Park.
I see, AP. Yeah.
What is it? Basically, my kneecap isn't on track. It's supposed to... Oh, that sucks.
Like a chronically misaligned kneecap.
Alright. Go to bed, yeah. Yelling at the kids. Yeah.
Even chat's in on it now.
Yeah, chat's in on it. It's like, go to bed, kids. This big area is going to be my experimentation on so many view things. So, I'm trying some ideas out.
Right on.
Dome viewer. Alright, so I have that covered. I don't have this covered. And how far can I go with this? Oh, I can go all the way over here. Well, shit. Boom. Yeah, I know. There's no path there. Give me a second. I will fix that game.
Our next zip line drops you right off into the mouth of a T-Rex.
Oh, no.
That's what happens when you let our kids build this game like you have before.
That is true. How's that unreachable by connect?
Each of you give me a plastic
Edit connection.
silica.
Okay, that's there. Going to here. Obstructed by. Yeah, that's. I was gonna say there it goes. Yep. So we have the dome viewing gallery out there, so that will work. This whole area is now viewable.
Ooh.
Hurry up.
Oh my god, that's wild. Is there any I missed? I don't have that one, I don't care. Guest attraction. I can build a guest attraction. I guess I could do that to see if I can't bring people over here.
Here.
There's also the Innovation Center, which I kind of do want to build. Ah! Rotate. Alright. So I kind of want to build that over here. And I kind of want to build some things around it.
Now you guys go sit down at the table and eat it.
Alright. So you go here. Out. Out.
They were complaining they needed deep food, so they got cereal.
I'll go figure.
I was like, that's your only option. You can pick which cereal you want, but you're only getting cereal.
There we go. Alright, so I got that taken care of. Now I need large substation. Oh, I need to delete this path then. Because I'm going to put the large substation right next to this puppy. There's a little buddy. And we're going to go like this. Alright, that'll cover that. And then we just go around it. Ta-da! Alright. So I'll do that. I love how people are just going over around an open field. It's just like, what the heck happened? Alright. While this is going on... Yes, I know something doesn't have power. Please promptly screw off, game. I get it. Stop having a seizure. Alright, let's see who's on. Because we're going to find someone to raid.
Right on.
Alright, who do we got? Alright, slowly improving this. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I hit the end of the list. Alright, let's see what game we got and see what the audience would be into today. Alright. Let's start at the top and work our way down. We have some Dead by Daylight. We have some Fortnite. We have Call of Duty, of course. They're everywhere. Overwatch. Sea of Thieves. Super Mario World. There's a Fireball.
Ooh, let's go raid that.
Yeah, let's go raid Fireball. Yeah, no. Halo Infinite. High on Life. Walking Dead. Diablo 4. Shimmering Faye Fox says Overwatch so far. Alright, so we gotta vote for Overwatch. Resident Evil. Sims 4. Yeah, he... Of course you had to get that in there. Retro. Minecraft. Assassin's Creed. Odyssey. Dead by Daylight. League of Legends. Sea of Thieves, Divinity, Original Sin, World of Warships, Phasmophobia. I think Overwatch is going to be the overwhelming one.
Overwatch is, fine by me. I will say that, if you had any inclination to do other stuff, Melissa in Denial is on with Assassin's Creed, but I don't know how much longer she's going to be on. She's been on a while.
Yeah, I'll do the Overwatch person. I've rated Melissa recently.
Okay.
Like, I tried to spread the love around the best I can.
Absolutely.
So there is that. So we're going to go raid someone called Rut-Row Rags. And he's dressed in a Scooby-Doo outfit.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I love this. This is going to be fun. Alright, so we're going to raid him. So with that being said, where's my damn... Oh, I forgot. I didn't put up my freaking text document. I need that. Alright, so if you are one of my 16 subscriber... Or 17 subscribers now. Jesus. Please use the following raid message. If you are one of my followers, please use the following raid message when we raid Rut-Row Rags. Alright. Tomorrow is Wildcard Wednesday, where we're going to be playing some more Dragon Age. If you want to change the game, by all means, spend 5,000 critical rolls. There's another fireball. Spend 5,000 critical rolls and pick the game that is on my list of games that I own. ! Owned games. There is the Google link to the games I own. If there's a game not listed on there that is free to play, I will also consider playing that as well. Alright. As long as it doesn't get me banned from church.
Yeah.
That is the main thing. Alright. So with that being said, join me tomorrow for Dragon Age 2. I will hopefully see you all then. You guys have a great night. Remember to take care of yourselves, both mentally and physically. It is always time for tea in my tavern. And that I know you guys come to my tavern for the witty banter that we have here, and you stay for my fuck-ups. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. Toodles.
Poodles.